Hey everybody, it's Michael Ledwitz with Speedwell. Well, I just came over to the shop, and not to get too personal, but the car behind me was my grandmother's car. Identical, except black interior. This is a 1968 Lincoln Mark III. And I used to climb in this car when I was 3 years old. My grandparents died when I was 14, and they died of cancer, and it was terrible, horrific for a child. But the irony is that unfortunately my mother's going through the same right now. And I was talking to her when I was coming over here to the studio, and I was driving by when I was on the phone with her. She's in New Jersey, and I was driving by her exact car that she had prior. And then I pulled in here, and here's this car right behind me. And you can't make this up. You just can't make it up. And the reason why you can't make it up is because it just, like the universe, it's crazy. I don't know. To be honest with you, I feel like crying because of everything I'm going through, but there's a lot worse out there, so we smile and we keep on pushing and we don't give up and we never back down. And this really isn't about a car show, but yes it is, because that car is my grandmother. That car I loved. That car I have memories at 3 years of age climbing into the back seat. It's my car, and I love that car. If I could have that car, I would take that car right now, and here it is. Worn, tethered, run down. But for the sake of God, it made it here for me. For me. To give me the love that I need, that I remember so well. So listen, if you're having a bad day, if things aren't going so well, you can always close your eyes and you can always go back in time. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it comes through. That's it. Stick around. Robbie, what are we working on today?
I'm going to put on Series 1 cam covers.
Okay.
63 E-type. Just getting some polishing goo out of the holes. Stuff gets everywhere, so you don't want any kind of material in a fresh engine. Got these are the mock-up cam covers. These are off of like a Series 2, Series 1.5, Series 2 E-type. Series 1 E-type, fully polished, ready to go. As you can see on the engine right here. These just mock-up just because you don't want to be handling the good stuff as you're dealing with it. Every time you touch something, you compromise it. But in all these little holes, a lot of times you'll get some wet sanding or polishing compound, and it just kind of builds up in there, and you don't want to ever put that on an engine. If it falls down inside the engine, you're basically putting grit in it.
So how long of a process is this to polish this up?
I got a really good polisher. He'll usually do a light media blast on them to clean up the corrosion. These are pretty heavily corroded. Then a lot of times he'll flatten belt sand them, and then he'll actually go through this stuff and do a high polish, about 3 different phases of polishing. He ends up with a really nice product though. Pretty affordable too, I think. Some guys out there, you'll send these things out and you'll get them back a couple months later. This guy's down the road from me and I've used them for years.
And let's see what's the underneath look like?
Oh, the underneath? That's kind of what I'm cleaning out right now. Got a little bit of goo in there. It usually has a little bit of residue from oil and all. That's kind of what I'm going to clean up a little bit here before we get it back on there.
Well, sounds good. Everybody stick around. We'll be back. Dakota, look who just came in.
Yeah.
The love of your life. There she is, Miss America, Shelby. Hey, baby. What's shaking? Look at Robbie walking away. Hi, Shelby. You're on TV. How does it feel to be known to the world as the boss?
Oh, as the boss? I would like it if I was the boss.
Yeah. You don't own this place? I thought you owned it. Yeah, no.
I wish I did.
Robbie,
Now you're just known to be like,
Robbie, what the?
I mean, if I bring the dog, I mean, I guess.
Is this a
I do.
conflict?
Yes.
What are you doing?
What's
Brings
going
my
on?
girlfriend with her.
That's it. She keeps the coda in line.
Yeah.
She keeps the coda. That's right. Whip him.
Yeah.
That's right.
uh-huh.
Do that engine. Do what you got to do.
Do it. Are you doing it tighter or looser?
Looser.
Do it looser.
That's right, Shelby. Tell him. Tell him. Go on, Shelby. Come on, America. Let's encourage Shelby. Let's get her on Instagram. We're going to see you, right?
Come on,
Shelby, you're going to have 50 million followers by the end of this segment.
God, please no. That's
Oh,
more
yeah.
people that need things.
Oh, my gosh. We are a little bit in the country. And we love it. Let's see. That's right.
It is
It's gorgeous.
This is ball ground.
This
And
is
you
ball
have to
ground.
go to shops before you get here.
The ground
the
of
ground
ball.
of ball.
The ground of bald.
Yeah.
A lot of toupees around here. A lot of toupees.
I guess it is.
Yeah, that's
Ball
it.
ground.
Because he's
Yeah.
supposed to quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ball ground.
All right, guys. We'll be back. Robbie, what are you doing, Bubba?
Just checking the alignment of all these little holes. Yeah, that's how it should go. Should just drop on there like that. So, just kind of checking those. Sometimes your cam studs, a lot of times, will be wonky and they'll go a little left and right. So I had to check that first because sometimes you might have to straighten them. They can get a little out of kilter. So you just got to make sure they fall straight on there because a lot of times somebody will take a mallet and try to hit them down on there and it'll really booger up the threads on all this stuff before you put all your cam nuts on. But you can kind of tell between mock-up, that's what it should look like. That's just for handling and as you're building the engine. Kind of ugly, pretty, good. Good for, really just good for handling. That's about the only reason I do this stuff. And this side still got his cam to go in. This is the intake port side. Still shimming up the cam on this side.
What is chimney?
You have these little pucks underneath here. My table, as you see over here. Underneath your tappets, you got a puck. That's your shim puck.
And what does that do?
That adjusts your shimming on your valve. It's
Interesting.
004, as I recall, on intake, 006 on exhaust.
And what is 004006?
That is the clearance between the top of your valve and said puck.
Got it.
If it was 0 or more, it'll actually never close your valve. So you have to have that, and there has to be a room for heat expansion. Things getting hot, going hot through the heat range, hot, cold. That's what all these little feeler gauges are for. You got to be able to, especially this one's going from nothing. These had new all valve seats put in, so you're establishing valve seat height. So you have to start off from absolutely nothing. So you put in, first, I like to put in the shim that came out first, because I know the height's changed. So I'll go from that height, check it. As I'm doing it, you do one at a time. You put the cam in with the bearings, check one, go again, take it back out, measure it. You have to measure it with your feeler gauges until you get to your tolerance, which on this one is 006 on that side, 004 on the other. As soon as you establish that height, you're good to go. Then I have one of these big assortment. This is what you get when you get into this crap. A huge assortment of pucks like this. So those are all the different sizes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Some of them custom made actually, because they don't make them. So some you have to have these things machined.
Now, what does the 60 mean on it?
That's 60 thousandths. See if you look up here on this chart. They range. There's my biggest, there's my smallest. Sometimes through here you might have to have some made if you don't have a large enough. This is 0.124. That's about the fattest one that they come with.
Yeah.
But you can have some custom made a lot of
That
times.
goes all in the valves.
Yep, underneath underneath the cup,
Wow.
on top of the valve seat. So when your valve closes, you have to have a gap. If you don't have that gap, your valve won't be closing fully.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it's too wide, a lot of times you get valve float and flutter, and they just don't sound good. Clanky, clattery. Overhead valve engines are notoriously a little noisier than, you know, internal valve engines. So as long as you close up those tolerances, and make them, you know, per spec. They'll be good. And all this stuff's in the factory manuals. This is all straightforward. Nothing really custom in any of this stuff. It's all follow your procedures and you'll be fine, kind of stuff.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys, that's another little excerpt from Speedwell. I'm Michael Ledwitz and the legendary Rob Farris. Oh.
Gotta keep it clean.
Find your wrench.
Found it.
Good.
Found it.
Good. So you get kicked in the head right there.
You know what's the most common missing tool in the toolbox?
All of them.
Yes. What else?
The one thing you're looking for?
Yes. If it was a sized wrench, what would it be?
10 millimeter.
Exactly. How many do I have in my box?
I think I took 2 of them out, so
So I
one.
have one. Okay. Do we have carb clean? Answer is
we
no.
had,
Nobody ever has carb clean.
We had carb clean.
It disappears.
Magic. You know.
No.
What'd you break?
Nothing. Not yet.
Not yet.
What was the funny thing we were talking about yesterday? That was amazing.
How Aston Martin radiators don't fit. They're all made by Ford.
Oh yeah. DB7 Aston Martin radiator.
Jaguar,
Jaguar. Yeah.
The funny thing.
made by Ford.
Made by
No,
Ford.
it's just funny as hell. It says on there for supercharged cars only on a
and I was
V12, and then it says a big Jaguar. It's like two contradictory things on the same thing. It's like, leave it at one.
This
No.
is not Jaguar, and this is not supercharged. So, confused. It just shows
Kind
how
of like
much.
the fuel pumps.
Yeah, the fuel pumps. 2 Ford Taurus fuel pumps. Aston Martin wants 500.
Aston Martin of New England, $1,100.
Oh, yeah.
eBay, $30.
$36.
36.
Plus shipping. Yeah, we were good.
Google's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
It can also get you in trouble.
Whoa.
Because if you ever...
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot of car terms that can be misconstrued.
Safety wire.
No. Safety word.
Safety.
Constantinople. Constantinople.
Oklahoma! Oklahoma!
It's too many syllables. I should have been smarter when I chose my safe word.
What's wrong with good old fashioned stop?
I think that's somebody's go word. That got people killed. Yes.
Oh Lord. We need to go to church.
I love the British version of if we have a hole in the firewall, let's just stick a little bubble gum or a rubber nipple in it.
Yeah.
That's all we do here. Look at that.
Rubber nipple.
Yeah, that's
Rubber
all it
nipple.
is. Whenever they had a hole they didn't use, boop, just put a little rubber thing in it.
That's crazy.
Because these cars can be left or right hand drive. That's what these access panels are for.
They have
Yeah.
the same indentions for everything on
They
each
have,
side.
yeah, they're duplicated left and right. With,
So
you
you
know,
get
ease
your wash.
of,
That'd be your
ease
washer
of
bottle for the
production.
right hand side.
yeah.
And that's your washer bottle if it's left hand drive.
So they can make these left or right hand drive just by, you know, really just swapping out your brake and clutch components. Which, you know, for mass production, it's a beautiful idea.
That's the way T models were done too. I mean, it's not a
T models took it to another extreme. They used the floorboards were made out of the engine crates that they were shipped there in.
okay.
Or what is it? Not the engine. They built their engines in house.
Yeah, I was about to say it's something else. It's like tires. or
Something that came in boxes. They know shit. Cut the boxes up and used them as floorboards.
Yeah. Genius.
Very ingenious.
It's like I always say, the best Fords were built between like 1909 and 1915. Everything after that's not been
And
up
that's
to
being
par.
said by a Chevy person
Yes, it is. Who owns a 15?
who owns a 15.
Yeah.
Is that considered a blackout tee?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I actually have.
That's before the night trains came out, I guess, right?
I guess so.
What's the night train?
Dodge. What was it? Dodge truck, right?
Yeah.
The night train. Everything was black on it. The wheels,
Everything.
the lights, not one piece of trim on that thing was stainless or chrome. It was every bit.
All expenses spared.
If you're wondering what this thing is, it's a brake reservoir tank. Holds vacuum.
And it holds all your fluid when the
Yeah,
seal goes bad
when the
over
seals
here.
go bad in the brake master, it actually becomes another brake reservoir.
Oh, really?
So you'll have a brake leak and you're like wondering, you're like, oh, where's all my brake fluid going? It's going through this little tube over here, all the way around, and filling that up accidentally.
And the funny thing about that is when it all gets full, it'll start burning it.
And you're like, okay, I'm losing
there's
brake
some-
fluid,
yeah.
the car's smoking, we're not doing good.
Yeah, when the seals go bad, it starts backfilling the reservac tank. This thing will weigh, like, no kidding, like 20 pounds.
When
It's
it
full
rains,
of brake
it
fluid,
pours.
and it'll back up into the intake manifold, and you'll just start burning brake fluid.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They later put a check valve in them, right here at the top of
And
the
it'll
brake
go bad
reservac.
too.
Yeah, then the check valves. That's also it'll stick it open.
We'll be back, guys. You're watching Speedwell.
Okay. I have no idea how to work this phone.
Dakota, what are we doing, buddy?
Playing with displays at Home Depot.
We're playing at displays at Home Depot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Speedwell, and we're at Home Depot. I don't know why. Listen, what are you doing? That's not a triple carb.
Supplies.
Supplies, people. Supplies. You know, I was wondering if I should film this or not. I'm like, what the hell. But,
Little things that make shops go.
by the way, did you see Dakota's trying to grow a mustache like me? Did you see that?
Working on it.
It's working on it. Anyway, we'll be back, all right? Listen, we're taking a little lunch break. We're here in Home Depot where everybody shops. Get your stuff at Home Depot, people. That's what we got to do. Robbie, what are you doing, bud? You're on TV. Did you know? Hi, what are you doing?
Giving a contact information out for my upholstery guy.
Oh, for upholstery. That's nice. You gonna make some leather pants, or what are you doing?
Chaps.
Chaps. We'll be back, people.
You hear me
On that note.
Okay. It is 9. Balance.
All right, guys, we're finally back on Speedwell, and we're gonna be lifting the engine out of the car. So check it out.
All right, bump. 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 Hold on right there. We gotta get the clutch line.
It's already out.
Well, it's just rubbing by it, you know.
Okay, well, hit it. By doing this is how you test the tensile of everything that's still connected.
Yeah.
You find out how strong stuff really is.
How strong is that last ground strap?
How strong is that last speedometer cable?
Well, how much does that engine weigh?
5-ish, 6-ish.
No.
Yeah, with the trans,
With the trans, about 650 maybe.
it's heavy. These are big engines.
Cast iron block, aluminum head, aluminum oil pans, cast aluminum bell housing, and the moss box is steel. So, about 650. Not too bad.
It's
Very easy to balance. You're not done yet?
all right. Just not it.
Check your balance.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you what to do now. I'm the boss. I'm the captain now.
Another thing you got to get around now is that. So bump. 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 Okay, hold on. Let me make sure we're not touching anything on the back, and I think we're good to come. Here you got it. Can't grab the drive shaft. Woohoo. Got it. That was what was holding us. Alright, good. 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 Keep going. Good. Hold on 1 second.
Make sure the shifter makes it past the.
Yeah. That's why I don't have ribbed up jeans.
It's clear.
No, it's got the power lead on the reverse light.
That's how you test the tensile strength.
Yeah.
Strongest steel cable. Usually you feather, aren't you?
Yeah. I gotta do it. Gotta do it. We got a new harness coming anyway.
They all get new forms.
Alright, up. Keep
All the
coming.
way?
Yeah, no stopping.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. You're good. Yeah, let's get this thing all.
All the way.
Yeah.
Up the way.
It's nice having lift. There's a little bit of teeter right there.
Yeah.
You just gotta put a hand on it, it's fine. You can put this on a pallet, you can do a couple different ways. We just do it this way and we'll bring an engine hoist around here and take it out.
That's amazing.
Now the factory put them in just in reverse. So this is, that right there is some previous, Bubba got to this one. See that?
Yeah.
Bubba got to that one right there. Put a jack right underneath the front picture frame.
But it's fixable.
But it's fixable. This one we're going to save. This is all fixable, and we like to keep that original picture frame. It's got the numbers on it.
Hammer and die unbalanced, is it?
It's not.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
here we're at.
There is that bolt. It's still stuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean,
So the bolt that we were having problems with before.
That's that guy right
that's
there.
that guy. He's still there.
Yeah, he's
still
there.
stuck.
Well, he's keeping the torsion bar strength right now. I just moved him out of the way.
Okay.
That's
thing.
good.
Works.
Yeah, it's a rear trans mount. Now you can kind of see what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a tight fit.
For a dual overhead camshaft 4.2 liter straight six, it's pretty tight confines. They built this whole car around that engine.
They built the car around.
Not so much.
Kind of like an A10.
Yeah, built it around the gun.
I mean, look at the shifter and everything right here.
It's one compact unit.
You can see how tall it is.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
tall
actually
motor.
a tall engine.
And how much horsepower is in this engine?
This is 265.
265
That's
horsepower.
pretty good for 65.
For 65?
Yeah.
And what's the torque? Do you know what the torque is on it?
Torque?
Yeah.
Go to 310.
Probably around 3.
Really?
A little over 3.
Three.
They're very
Holy
torquey.
crow.
They're torquey.
You go to the
motors.
4.2. It's a 4.2.
Yeah, the 4.2s are torquey.
Very
motors.
torquey. Yeah.
As compared to the 3.8s are more higher RPM motors. I like the 3.8s myself.
What are we doing?
I gotta walk out. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans on Speedwell?
Always.
Guys,
No, this one.
and on this episode of Shenanigans, we've got Mountain Dew and Dakota. Here we go. Hold on.
We're gonna go this way.
Where am I going? Hey, where are you going? Around? What the hell am I chasing them for? Holy Jesus Christ. What the? Come on, Robbie. We're going to get some shenanigans here on Speedwell. What do we got going on? Where is it? Over here. Let me look through. Oh, shit. So, Oleg, what are you doing over here? Let me just get a little bit of stuff here. Hold on, buddy. Dakota, what's happening over here? Yeah. Well, now you can see what goes on at Speedwell. Yeah, baby. We'll be back.
Police in 3.
Ah. How you doing? Ah, that's great.
Oleg's like, really?
And he's not even phased. It's like no big deal.
Really?
No big deal. All right, guys, we'll be back. You're watching Speedwell.
Did I vacuum?
All right, my brother. So why don't you tell everybody how you got started, when you got started, because you started at the age of 14.
Professionally, yeah.
Professionally at 14. Professionally at 14. And what was your first car that you restored?
68 Charger.
Really?
Yeah, it's for my brother actually in the driveway.
Really?
That was about 13, 14. He was in high school and I'm 3 years younger than him, so that was kind of our first project together. It was kind of fun. That's kind of what got me started in the whole thing, is I started noticing girls like guys with cars. Got to get some cars, get some girls.
Girls
kinda
do like
slow.
guys with cars.
It's a cool
Yeah.
thing.
It's a very cool thing. So what else did you, like, how did you start with it? I mean, like, you started at 13 or 14, you weren't working, you didn't stop school at that. I mean, did you go to college? What type of things did you do? How did you learn about, and how did you come to have this whole shop? I mean, we were in 12,000 square feet of a facility, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a lot. and everything is Jaguar. Everything is just vintage. We've got brass era cars. I mean, it's very, very exciting, and we want to be able to show it to you. And so tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, my dad had a Jag early on when actually before I was born, and when my brother was born, he had to sell. It was E-Type, 68 coupe, not a 2+2 actually. It was a 2-seat Primrose yellow car. I have pictures of it, some pieces of it. It was kind of neat.
Yeah.
To have little pieces of the car. And he always told me about that years ago. And I kind of got an inkling for it when my brother kind of got into a car, got the 68 Charger.
Yeah.
We started working on it. And then I got my foot in the door at a restoration shop, pretty much just cleaning up and doing little parts and little bits like that at about 13, 14, 15.
And was it after school or was it summer
yeah,
job?
After school, all summer.
Yeah.
I never quit school to do it. I even went to college and got a marketing and management degree, but really only for the idea of doing my own shop one day. So it kind of finally all came together. Hanging out with Jag Club since I was probably in middle school, high school age. I was their grandchild, you know, the whole time I was their grandchild, really. They kind of looked at me that way. Then it came into my own sometime a little after college, started doing more projects, and people started coming to me, which was weird.
That is weird. I mean, you're so young. I mean, dude, you're only 34 years old, right?
Yeah,
34 in all of this.
I'm not looking forward to 35, that seems. I remember my dad when he was 40, so that's to me, that's the number 40.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my dad when he was 40, so that means, does that mean I'm technically old at 40?
No.
Okay.
100.
100?
Well, my auntie just turned 101 on the 2nd, so.
God bless.
And she's still living by herself, my Auntie Evelyn. So if you're watching, Auntie, love you. All right, so back to the action. What are we doing now? I mean, so now we're working on this. We're working on a TV show for Velocity and also YouTube and whoever wants to watch. I mean, we're here for you. But, you know, the great thing about our show is that it's us. We're just hanging around and doing our thing. I mean, as you can tell on today's episode, once it's all done and said, we've got some fun in here. Last week, we were working on with the 65 XKE, the white convertible that I drove. We're actually going to be going to a garage probably next week. We're going to be working on that Miura. We've also got a 72 Dino, not 72 Dino, 72 Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona Spider, actually.
Daytona
nice,
Spider.
Nice little car.
Mm-hmm. And you drove that last week. How was it to drive?
Oh, it's a great car. Everybody looks at you like you're driving a fiberglass kit, though.
Mm-hmm.
They can't believe that, you know, somebody's driving down the street in a 365.
They think Miami Vice.
Yeah, they think that, but it's a real car. It's a real fun car, too.
And how's that on reliability for that? I mean, it's a Ferrari, they always say, but, like, what is it really like?
So far, awesome.
Really?
So far, awesome. The car had been sitting for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
A customer bought it at an auction, put it in his collection, didn't touch it for years. I got the call to go in there and basically bring it out of mothballs. So, you know, all the fluids changed, fuel pumps were stuck, you know, took the air cleaners off, checked the carbs. Fired up after replacing all that. Great. It's been great ever since.
Fantastic.
Brakes just needed bleeding and little stuff.
A little bit of a bleed. A little bit of a bleed, man. God. I wish I knew how to work on cars. I really do, because
that's what happened.
That's gangrene, people. He's got gangrene of the hands. It's not oil or grease.
I went to college, too, and that's what I got.
Isn't that great?
That's college.
I love that. I love that. And then we're going to be able to get that Miura out, too, right?
That's a fun car, too.
Yeah.
That's a real fun car.
Very good.
Poster car.
Yeah, it is a poster car. Sex on wheels, that's what it is. It's the term supercar. The term supercar, for anybody who's watching, who's just coming onto the show, welcome to Speedwell with myself, Michael Ledwitz, and Rob Farris. But the term supercar for the Miura, well, it's based on the Miura. And so if you hear supercar, you can thank Miura for it. So anyway, listen, we got to scoot. We're going to be here next week. You're going to be here next week, we hope. And stay tuned. There's more excitement. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.